Alright, this is another one of our cheese series. This is our yellow cheese, nacho cheese. Cheese is one of the big things that people have cravings for, and it's one of the things that they really miss when they go to a plant-based diet, especially if they're not doing oil. This has been a very versatile, very tasty cheese replacement. It fills those urges. It goes with everything from potatoes, chips, salsa. It goes with burgers, pizzas, pretty much anything. I'll have a couple other suggestions for you later on during the video, but right now let's see how we got to this point. Okay, so we're here back in the kitchen and we're going to be going over our nacho cheese. It's really simple ingredients. We're going to start off with 16 ounces, a pound of potatoes. I'm using russets this time. You can use Goldens if you like. 2 to 3 medium-sized carrots. We have some nutritional yeast. We have our spice mix, which is onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric, and salt. And then we have our lemon juice, mustard, and apple cider vinegar in this bowl. So we're going to start with the potatoes and carrots. Those take the longest because we need to cook those down. Now I'm just going to chop these up into some nice even sized pieces so they cook, and then we'll put them in the pan. So be back in a moment. Alright, so we have our ingredients all chopped up. I'm going to add enough water to cover, about an inch over. So, now you want to start with cold water. You don't want to start with hot because that will change the time in which you cook. I need a little extra. So, there we go. And then we'll just get this started on boiling. So we'll be back when that's ready. Alright, you can see now that we're at a boil, and so I'm going to adjust the temperature down just to maintain the boil. And we want it to boil for 10 to 15 minutes until the food is soft, and I'll show you what that looks like too when we get to that point. Okay, we've been boiling for about 25 minutes. It took a little longer than I wanted, but what you're looking for, not so much as in a time limit, but as a texture. What you're looking for is you want to be able to mash these fairly easily, and you're cooking them longer than you would normally. So you want to be able to just basically cut through, mash, and squish those. So I'm going to say that's good. And what you want to do is you want to let it rest for at least 5 minutes. You can go a little longer if you need to. But when it finishes resting, don't drain it as you normally would. You want the water because we're going to use some of that in the rest of the dish. So put that back in. And I'm going to set this aside. And we're going to put together the rest of our ingredients. So we're going to use the blender, and I'm going to add the nutritional yeast. I'm going to add our spice mix, and then I'm going to add our lemon juice, mustard, and apple cider vinegar. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. We've let this rest, and now with all the ingredients in the blender, I'm going to put all this, the last bit together. Sorry. I'm going to put the last bit together. So We start with one ladle. This is a 4-ounce ladle, so that's a half a cup of the liquid. We may need to add more later, so that's why I want to keep the liquid. And then I use a slotted spoon, in particular this one, it's got a little bit of a claw to it, and I use that to scoop out the carrots and the potatoes. And as you can see from the overhead at this point, we just put it all together. So, we'll come back and you'll see when I start blending this up. What I will do is, while this is running, I'm going to use my tapper, which is designed for this chamber so it doesn't reach the blade, and I'm going to use that to have, if I have to push the ingredients down into the blade. So you'll see me probably using that. So are we ready? I'm going to make some noise now. Okay. All right. So now we've got it all blended together. And we just need to transfer it to our containers. We can store this in the refrigerator about a week to 2 weeks. Now this is nice and hot still, and it's very liquid. After a couple of days it will start firming up. All you have to do if you want to get it liquid again is warm it up. Put it in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds, stir it, and everything will be nice and loose again. Okay, so here we are. We've finished off our nacho cheese sauce, and I've baked up some corn tortilla chips in an air fryer. You could do this in an oven as well. You can add a series of spices on it. If you want to add some salsa to this, you can use this to top other things, burgers, casseroles. At one point, when I first tried this out, I made a rice and broccoli casserole with this as a cheese sauce. A friend was just loving it, and he was just eating away at it. And he said, you know, I would really love to have a second bowl, but all of this rich cheese. And then suddenly he realized it wasn't cheese. But this fills one of those cravings that a lot of people have for cheese.